Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, all the hip hop heads worldwide, tengo el honor de presentar al único, inconfundible, the one and only EllMatic, yo. Yeah.
Welcome back to Fan Talk. I'm your host Selector, and today we will be discussing the 29th game day, Hertha BSC versus Augsburg at home in the Olympiastadion. Let's go! Oh my god, what a game! A game that brought so much to light, good and partially bad. First of all, the result was a 2-0 victory at home that could have gone a whole different type of ways, but let's look into it a little bit in the details. Do you guys remember the away fixture, the first leg of the Bundesliga, where we got destroyed by a whooping 0-4? Jahrstein sent off with a yellow card after double foul on, I don't know, Niederlechner and Cordova or somebody. Ante Kovic being fired. Yeah, I do remember. I don't think that I'll have a chance to forget that game anytime soon. So I felt personally like we had a little bit to make up, a little bit to rectify here at this game. I really wanted a victory, but we all knew how difficult Augsburg can be. They don't have the big star players. They have a couple good players, I'm not gonna lie, but they don't have the big stars or whatever, but they just play as a unit, they play together, and they fight really, really, really hard. And we got a good taste of that. Let's start out. The first thing I'd like to discuss is the foul on Cordova. From Cordova on Jahrstein, where Jahrstein catches a ball and Cordova comes in and tries to kick the ball out of his hands and probably hit him somewhere in the chest. It was unnecessary, it was rough, and it felt like Cordova had some pinned up energy there from the hard foul. I don't know if you guys remember how Jahrstein took him out on the first leg of the Bundesliga on the away game, but he really stepped on his shin with full force and his ankle twisted and everything. So it feels like he had that little chip on his shoulder and was like, come here, let me hurt you too. Anyways, we totally dominated the first half. We scored one goal. It should have been a lot more goals. But that goal that we did score, oh my god, amazing. I will also do a quick whiteboard session later to show what happened there exactly. But Dilrosun switches the ball over to Mittelstädt. Mittelstädt crosses the ball over the box, over everybody's head to Darida. He lays it off to Pekarik, who's rushing to the edge of the box. He takes a shot similar to his first goal that he scored in Hoffenheim. It gets deflected by the keeper. Dodi Lukubakio attempts a shot, which is blocked. It bounces back to Dilrosun, who lifts the ball with the outside of his foot away from the defender that comes rushing in and slots it into the roof of the net with unbelievable skill. First of all, any striker that I know, or most strikers that we know in the Bundesliga, they would just let it rip in the position that Dilrosun was in. They would just let it rip. It would have been blocked away or whatever. But Dilrosun, to have that attacking mindset and that clarity of mind to say, no, I'm going to lift the ball up with the outside of my foot, unbelievable skill, over the defender that's rushing in, sliding in this case, and then to take it with my other foot, man, world class. That was a world class finish, at least, let's put it this way. In the first half, man, we had like at least 5 or 6 different chances. Ibisevic, Lukubakio, man, so many chances we had. We need to learn and we need to get better at capitalizing on these opportunities. As we saw in this game against Augsburg, you kind of have to capitalize on these chances. It was luck that kept us in as long as we were in the game without conceding an equalizer. Rough. Yeah, so we need to work on putting the chances away that we have. Just if we want to establish ourselves as one of the top teams, the chances we get, we need to make the most of. And I felt like there was just a plethora of chances that we just left on the table in the first half. And just coming off 3 days rest, since we had the middle of the week fixture, you're gonna get tired. That's why it's so important to put those chances in and see out the game. And yeah, second half, it was basically all Augsburg. I mean, they had us pushed all the way back. We couldn't string together 5 passes anymore, and there was a couple of really good chances that they had. A header from Niederlechner, a shot that went against the bar after Jahrstein, I think, used his fingertips to push it there. Man, this game could have gone into a 1-1 easily at this point in time. And for us then to see this out to the end and have this chance where Grujic does this no-look pass where he just kind of clears it out over his head. He's with his back to their goal, and somewhere in our half just picks it up all over his head perfectly into the running path of Derrida, who at this point had ran so much. I mean, Derrida put up a new Bundesliga record. He covered 14.34 kilometers. And in the 92nd in stoppage time, the 1-2 minutes into stoppage time, to still have the energy to not just be up top, but then to run all the way to their box, lay it off in the path of Piontek, and for him to then, of course, beautifully slot it home, controlled and composed finish. His first goal out of active play. Beautiful. Beautiful. However, Derrida gets all the credit for being in the position, for doing that run after having covered so much distance already, and then giving that perfect through pass. Amazing. I mean, Piontek, boom, El Pistolero is finally here, man. It's finally here. So I hope that now he gets more playing time to back up Ibisevic, and then we'll see. But what I wanted to say is, the main positive takeaway that I have from this game is that we ran this like how a top of the table team would usually do it on a bad day. The players after the match were saying, we were tired. We didn't have enough gas. We were just hanging on and just defending like crazy. And sometimes you need these hard-fought victories when there is no more gas left in the tank. You need to get together, grow together as a team, and come out there with one of those hard-fought victories like we did in a pure top-of-the-table type team performance. This is usually Hertha in the past, and I know I always talk about Hertha in the past. This would have been, we would have gone up maybe a goal, and then we completely lost it second half and lost this 2-1. But now we have composure, we have the ability to calm the game down a little bit, we have the ability through Bruno, the confidence in every player, that every player feels for the other players, that we can see these type of games out. And this really makes me feel so good and so proud of Hertha and what they have accomplished thus far. This, more so than the 2-2 against Leipzig, where we came back from deficit, shows me that we're taking strides forward to not lose. Oh my God, I can only stress this enough. But this was an amazing 2-0 victory away. Amazing. But now let's check out how this goal happened and why it was so special. All right, Hertana. This is our formation at this game day. It's a 4-2-3-1. Jahrstein, number 2, Pekarik, Boyata, Jordan Tunariga, Maxi Mittelstädt, Skjelbred, Grujic, Vladimir Derrida, Dori Lukebakio, Dilrosun, Vedat Ibisevic. However, when this goal happened, there was a slight change. because these two boys had switched. So our number 16 is over here, and our number 28 was over here. Had switched sides. So what had happened was Maxi Mittelstädt had moved up. Our number, I might use black for this, just to make it a little bit more. Now I'm dropping everything. Alright, anyways. So Maxi Mittelstädt had pushed up and overlapped and was over here. Dole Lukebakio had pushed in the middle. Verdat is making a run to far post. Mittelstädt takes it up here a little bit further. Our number 6, Vladimir Darida. Sorry, let's move this guy. Our 28 was a little bit more over here. Oh, moved in here. Vladimir Darida was making a run out wide here. So, before all this really unfolded, Javairo Dirosun switched the ball all the way over here to Maxi. One of the big strengths from Bruno Labbadia's game is the sudden switches of sides. He really brings, in this case, for example, he brought the ball over this side and drew their team over here just to then quickly switch and attack from another angle of attack, right? So Maxi has the ball, carries up a little bit, does a cross over everybody's heads over here to Darida, who had pushed all the way up here to receive this. Pekarik had also moved up and made a run. By the way, Dirosun then ran this way. So Pekarik suddenly popped up here. Dirosun was making his way in there. Darida didn't see nobody open because Verdat was over here. He was making a run in here. Laid the ball off to Pekarik. Pekarik shot past. I don't know exactly if it was a shot or a pass, but looked like the keeper deflected it out to our number 28, who shot on goal. It was deflected. Javairo Dirosun made a run in here, juked the defender, and slotted it home for the goal. This was amazing, amazing play, and I could swear that this is the epiphany or one of the ways that they train tactics from Bruno Labbadia. The side changes, the cross is back in either to near post or to the far post, and then play the ball behind or try to find somebody in the middle. Amazing. Another player that I really want to point out here that is really important for the tactics of Bruno Labbadia is none other than number 25, Jordan Torunariga. At the next game, pay attention to Jordan Torunariga and his role in opening play. A lot of times, our back four will move the ball left to right. They'll play at this point in time. You would have a Pekarik. Let me just remove all this to stop confusion. We'd have a Pekarik who is, when they're opening play, they're all pushed up a little bit more. Same with this guy, Maxi Mittelstädt. And yeah, so basically, let's say Bolta has the ball. They'll move it this way, they'll move it back over here. And then, when they're ready to pounce on the opposition, the ball will go back to Jordan. And Jordan is currently our guy to open play. He has the ability to play those long balls to our target man, Ibisevic, or to a Vladimir Darida, or do a long high cross to the sidelines up here to hit a number 28 Dole Lukebakio, or play it over here to Mittelstädt. But beware of these long, almost like switching passes. Jordan is killer when it comes to those. I'm telling you, keep an eye on our number 25. He is key when it comes to opening play for Hertha BSC under Bruno Labbadia. Now, looking at the game stats, it clearly backs up the notion of this being a hard-fought victory. Shots on goal, we had 11, they had 8. We ran 122.1 kilometers, they ran 120, really tight. We played 427 passes, they 396. We had only 76% pass accuracy. This clearly shows you how difficult they made it for us, how tight they were standing. Their midfield and their defense really didn't give us much to play into, so we were forced to come over the wings. We had 51% possession and 151% of tackling. But still, this is testament that Augsburg is one of the ugly teams to play against. Really ugly. And yeah, I hope that this was more so a moral victory for Hertha. Not just, yeah, we got 3 points, which is fantastic. I mean, this still lets us kind of peak at the Europa League qualification spot. But mentally, this must have been such a big push. Next up, we're going to see Dortmund. And it's going to be really difficult to play against them. I mean, they got speed, they got power with Haaland, Sancho. It's going to be really, really difficult for us. So I think that this moral victory can really can give us a big push in that game. And also in the rest of the games to come, because it doesn't get any easier. After Dortmund, we are at home against Eintracht Frankfurt. Then we have a Tuesday game following that Saturday game away at Freiburg. And Freiburg just defeated Gladbach in today's game 1-0. So they are nasty. I want to say they are among Augsburg, if not a little bit nasty. Then another home game, Leverkusen. And then away in Gladbach. If we get a draw or a victory out of Dortmund, Gladbach or Leverkusen, we should count ourselves happy. Eintracht Frankfurt, they have shown two faces. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're not so good. So if we can beat Frankfurt and we can beat Freiburg, I would be happy. 6 more points out of the next 5 games. It's okay because of Dortmund, Leverkusen and Gladbach. But if we can draw at least in Dortmund or, win against Gladbach, whose form seems to be going down maybe a little bit, and maybe have a good game in Leverkusen, yeah, we're not going to relegate, let's be honest. We're not going to relegate. This is not going to happen anymore. But for us to take that step into Europa, if we have what it takes, we need 1 to 3 points out of those, 1 to 4 points out of Dortmund, Gladbach and Leverkusen. I also went ahead and looked at Wolfsburg, who's currently in that number 7 spot, the direct qualification for Europa League. They're playing Werder Bremen, who they should beat. Then they're playing Freiburg right before we see them, which would be very interesting. Then they're playing Gladbach. Then they're playing Schalke. I stand corrected, Gelsenkirchen. And then they play against Bayern. So they're Gelsenkirchen, they're probably going to defeat. Werder, they're going to defeat. So that's 6 points. Now, there are 3 games where we're not so sure. Is Gladbach, Bayern. I hope that they lose those 2. And I hope that Freiburg at least draws with them. However, Freiburg is away in Wolfsburg. So I think Wolfsburg away at Werder is going to be a victory for them. At home versus Freiburg is going to be a victory of them, and that will seal our fate, and we will not see ourselves through to Europa. However, that's the beauty of the game of football, that even teams that are weaker on paper have a chance to win, and it always starts off at 0-0. So I'm keeping my spirits high because Bruno Labbadia has statistically seen never won in Dortmund. So having this beautiful start and this wonderful team of blue and white Herthanas, why don't we give this man his first victory in Dortmund? I mean, Dortmund probably doesn't have a chance on the league anymore. So, gift us that point or those 3 points. Labadia. Full faith that you're gonna come up with a mean little plan on how we can beat them boys over there in Dortmund. And yeah, I'm super excited. Tomorrow, the top game. So that's gonna be here in around noon, if not a little bit later than that. Let's get it. Let's get some points in Dortmund. From Atlanta, Georgia, I'm your host selector. Ha ho hey, Hertha BSC.